Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we're joined once again by Mark Gonzales over at First National Bullion, and we have to go into some very interesting news today because I saw this last night while I was browsing through some news on X, and it says London is in the grips of a gold shortage as traders line up for weeks to get bars out of the Bank of England and ship them to the US. We've been seeing a shortage for a while, but with scarcity versus demand, I mean, we are in for a major move, in my opinion, that it just goes more to the point that we've been saying for a while. We need to get into this stuff. We need to get out of the dollar. We need to get out of these fiat currencies. We need to get out of just being controlled by a digital system of money and get wealth insurance. This is not about investing at all. Traders are moving so much gold from the Bank of England to the US that to avoid Trump tariffs that the waiting time has reportedly octupled. So again, we have a lot to break down with this because this is signifying something much bigger than meets the eye as debt continues to skyrocket. And of course, people look for safe havens out of the dollar system. And to those that have been saying, hey, this is a grift, stop talking about gold and silver. Okay, you just don't want any solutions? Just want to sit on your hands? Just wait for a politician to save you? Because that's not going to happen. The only way that individuals are able to get out of the current system that we're in and heading into very fast is by protecting their currency. It's one of the main ways that people are controlled. So why not actually look at real solutions? A lot of people want to complain, but a lot of people also don't want solutions. So I want to bring those solutions one way or another. We have this link in the description, firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link to buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium. You can hold the gold in your hand, put it in a vault, put it in an IRA outside of those traditional IRAs. And of course, when you go to that link, you can work with Mark here, get a free consultation with him and a complimentary investors package. Just let him know when you sign up in the comment section of the form that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WAM, WAM. Very important. We need to evade this CBDC system and we need to start thinking fast while everyone else is celebrating. It's when other people like yourself, smart, intelligent people out there, need to actually make those moves to protect themselves going forward. So with all these tariffs, a lot's happening, Mark. There is a lot of concern about the shortage of gold. People are lining up. It's almost like panic buying gold at this point. And this is something that, you mentioned months ago would take place. We're seeing it in front of our eyes. But of course, there's a lot of blame being thrown at Trump tariffs and all these other things. What do you think this signifies? What is actually happening to cause this shortage? And what do you think it means long term?
Well, what started the shortage was essentially it wasn't the announcement of the potential tariffs of 10% bringing gold back into the country. So if you have $1 billion over there in metal, and I believe there's well over $80 billion that's trying to come out right now, that's a pretty steep chunk of change. But if you look at the chart when that happened, the gold price spiked up to an all-time high, and you can compare that to the run that we saw back in COVID. I mean, it was absolutely astonishing. So what this has developed is the delivery dates. They've gone from really a couple days to get metal packaged up and ready to be shipped out. It's going to 8 weeks plus now. Yeah. And that is a massive shortage. Now, I don't believe the COMEX has all the metal that is there. In fact, there's a lot of proof against it, so we know that they don't. There could be many times more, hundreds and hundreds of ounces sold against silver and against gold that are in the COMEX, but this is also in the London vault as well. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. So with this short squeeze it's honestly, it's a really good time to get into the market. A lot of people are going to look at gold and say, oh, it's hitting all-time highs. Well, there's a damn reason for that, right? Shortage. If you don't have enough of something and more people want it and want to get their hands on it, the price is going to spike. So you're going to probably, in my opinion, see the prices continue to rise. This is now a good opportunity to get in. Gold price is going to bring up the silver price. But an interesting thing to note is this shortage has created backwardation. Okay, so backwardation in commodities, it's a term where the cash price, right, the raw material cash price is trading higher than the futures price, which the futures price incorporates manufacturing and cost to carry for storage and insurance. So the futures price should always be a little bit higher than the cash price, right? But when you got a cash market at these exchanges like London currently that is trading higher than the futures market, it screams shortage. And here's why. So if you have metal, all right, let's say you have a 100-ounce bar of gold, very hard to come by, but let's say you have one, and gold's trading for $1,800 cash price, but the actual futures price is just below that. Say the futures price is below that by about $2, $3, $4, $5. Okay, that's backwardation. Why wouldn't you sell your metal right at that higher price and then go back and get delivery of a new product? Well, you simply don't do it because you're afraid you're not going to get the metal back, right? So I've been predicting this for a long time because I've been in this industry for a long time, and I've seen this actually happen. In COVID, when everything shut down, gold and silver went into backwardation, shortages and deliveries just for retail. Okay, we're not talking about large bars and big accounts over in London. We're talking about just people trying to walk out with 100-ounce silver bars or some silver eagles or gold eagle. Delivery to get that product in some cases shot up to nearly 4 months. Okay, the market was sold short based on mining and manufacturing, where the players in the industry know what's coming out of the ground. They know the fulfillment times. They can make the guarantee that you're going to get it. And then the next step beyond that is they just stop taking orders. Okay. Premiums to acquire. If you're in a shortage, you're going to pay more for it. It's not just going to be your standard manufacturing cost, which will go up in the coming inflation, but it's going to be a bribe. You got to bribe it out of someone's hands, because if I don't know if I'm going to get it back, you better make it damn worth my while for me to sell you any of what I have. And literally, you saw premiums jump nearly 100% on silver, and on gold, they went up in excess of 35%. So these are real things that we're starting to see potentially play out with the London market. I don't know how it's going to end, but I don't think it ends necessarily well. The metal, I don't think, is all allocated. I don't think it's there. It's on the balance sheet of the London market, the London exchange, which means that it could be commingled, it could be swapped, it could be leased. And many of this metal has been leased many, many times over for the jewelry industry. These people that lease it, they got to buy it to pay it back. And now lease rates have jumped from really about 0.5% to 1%. They jumped to about 10%. Right. So that's a pretty damn expensive trade, meaning that if you're in that trade, you better get your ass out of it quick. You better unwind it. And you're going to have to go buy that metal to satisfy that lease agreement. Right. You can't just pay back in cash. You have to actually go get the metal. So again, more demand, less metal available. This is the beginning of what could be one fantastic short squeeze. And I recommend everybody get to some safety, give me a call, fill out that information. Let's get to know one another and find some solutions for you.
Well, absolutely. And the link is in the description. Again, I'll get people, they'll say, well, this sounds like an advertisement. It's not an advertisement. I'm trying to give people real world solutions, because right now, as we've talked with Mark many times before, the fact of the matter is, one of the number one ways that they can control you is via your money, especially with the CBDCs to come and the digital IDs and all this stuff. But also, it's the banking system is crumbling at the seams. They're insolvent. Their cash to deposit ratio is minimal. And of course, the FDIC is in a massive shortfall. Everything is kind of consolidating into a direction of, we're going to see the dominoes start falling. And we've been seeing the dominoes fall for a long time, of course, but it's rapidly increasing right now. And it has nothing to do with Trump or Biden or any of that stuff. It's far deeper than that. It goes back to the Federal Reserve. It goes back to the Bank of England. It goes back to the Bank of Canada. And right now, as I speak, if you were to watch our video, say a month ago, and say you were in Canada and you wanted to get into gold, or in Mexico, or whatever it might be, today, as I speak, the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso are collapsing versus the tariffs. Now, we all saw that coming, and this trade war is also going to severely affect these economies. Now, that isn't to say that the US dollar is going to go up. It's all a race to the bottom. But of course, you're going to see the smaller economies get hurt worse than obviously the US dollar. However, the US dollar is not going to last. You can't prop up a dead horse and make it run. At the end of the day, we're going to see what we've seen historically. All fiat currencies eventually revert to their true value of zero. Always have, always will, going back to 1024 AD. And we have a long history to look at this, not to mention no global economy, no world reserve currency has ever been as manipulated as we see the US dollar today. It's a whole new system of economic governance going back to the 1970s specifically that is going to be wiped out at a far greater pace. Yes, they can spoof the market better with fake, funny money and debt, but it all comes home to roost eventually. So at the end of the day, when we have the banks going down, when we have the currencies going down, when we see just how much you would have saved or insured your wealth just a few weeks ago, if you were, say, in the Canadian dollar and you decided, hey, maybe I'll put some of this in gold, you would have not only made money as an investment. And again, I don't promote this as an investment, but you also would have saved money as insurance for the currency going down. Okay. So going forward, we need to understand that we need a safety net. We all need a safety net. I don't mean put all your eggs in one basket, but just like when, crime skyrockets, it's hard to buy bullets. Well, when we see an economy crumbling at the seams and it's on a global stage and there's nothing Trump can do to save the economy overall, we can put it off a little bit longer. But why put off the inevitable when it's only going to hurt us more, when the bubble only expands worse and then it blows up even worse than before it would have previously? We need to look at real solutions here. So, Mark, when we see the dollar, obviously with the tariffs right now, we're going to see a back and forth trade war that could be really bad for the dollar, on top of the fact that we see massive amounts of printing and we see interest rates paused. There's so much that could happen in the next while. Why is it so important right now that you think people should not just wait, 5 more weeks or 2 more months or three more months, but actually get on this today and not just sit on their hands with this?
Well, very simply, as you mentioned, we're in a bubble, and the end of this bubble isn't just going through a tough cycle to remain in a fiat-based paper banknote. It's going to go to CBDC, and the name of the game is to put it off as long as possible. Why should we? Well, because you got to squeeze as much blood from that stone while you have the ability to do it. So if this is the case, if you can see this happening around you, then you front run what is to come by getting into the market now. Now, let's say, gold goes from 1800 to 1850 and someone buys Monday, and it could happen tomorrow. It really could. I'm not saying it's going to, but it could. Buys at 1850. They pay the premium manufacturing based on spot at 1850, and the market goes back to 1800. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, that stuff does in fact happen. You cannot time this market.
But you're not doing this for a week at a time. You're doing this for the long term.
No, you're not doing this for a week at a time. But a lot of people get that complacency biased of, I can do it tomorrow. Life gets in the way, right? They assume the knowledge that they don't have, and no one knows exactly what's going to happen to the price other than the longer term effect of gold absorbing the default of the US dollar, which is going to be the case. And now you're talking tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and silver in the hundreds to thousands. So don't put off what you could do today. If you have the IRA that's not working for you, or even if it is, everything's going to go poof. Right? Dollar prices everything via the exchange. Dollar's going down. This is the last squeeze of the blood from the stone, and you can't trust the administration when they stabbed you in the back so many times. So we need to trust our instincts and get involved in this market, and it's easier to be a month early than a day late.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be on the outside looking in, not the inside looking out, unable to get out of that dome that people have been domed off into. It reminds me of Logan's Run a lot, the kind of situation that we are watching, really rapidly increase and get closer. All roads lead to Rome, my friends, and the digital ID and CBDC system are coming in, regardless of what politicians say, by the way, because all the central banks are actively working on it. Almost every country in the world, except for like 3 or 4, I think, are actively working on it. And those other countries will probably be eaten up by other countries anyway. I mean, this is the agenda. This is the reset. So I urge people to check that link in the description. We have the link below, but of course you have to get the exact link here. firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link. And there you can buy physical gold, silver. You get platinum or palladium as well. You can put the gold, again, like I said, in a vault. You could hold it in your hands. You could put it in an IRA. But my point is that, we need to do something going forward. We all have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and our family, and the, money we work so hard to achieve over the years. Don't let it be for nothing. Don't fall into that system. Don't end up on food rations. It sounds like fear mongering, but it's what they say they're going to do. So for that reason, I think it's so important we have that link. And through there, you can schedule an appointment for a free consultation with Mark Gonzales and a complimentary investors package there. You could also sign up on the form, super easy to fill out, and let him know in the comments that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WAM, WAM. We appreciate it. But I think at the end of the day, this is about you. This is about you keeping yourself safe. And look, there's a million people out there that you can buy gold from. The reason, again, this isn't an ad. This is someone that I know, someone I'm friends with, someone I've known for a while, someone I know is awake, someone I've seen at conferences for years, someone I've seen predicting these things for years. So it's not just some guy in a suit at one of these banks or one of these, investment firms that are saying, hey, invest in this and get into this and work with me. This is someone that actually knows what he's talking about. And that's why we have him on here, because he can give us these insights. And of course, as we see this agenda, and it is an agenda that's scripted, continue to elapse and continue to get further on down the road, it's on every single person watching to actually go out, do something about it, and get prepared, because again, it's not going to wait for you. You have to do it yourself. And sitting on your hands waiting for someone else to do it, and especially hoping that your bank is going to keep you safe, good luck. Even if your bank wanted to keep you safe, then you still have the whole issue of the dollar being worthless in the future. So it's a multi-tiered problem that we have solutions for. So I appreciate you coming on as always, Mark. We have a lot more to go into soon, so stay tuned and make sure to check out our most recent videos. If you're watching on band.video, make sure to subscribe on Rumble and BitChute. Our viewership dropped 99% on there. Suddenly, I don't know what's going on with that, but we have a lot of great videos going up. So if you're watching on there, make sure to back up and subscribe on those platforms as well, because you know what? We need to make sure that we are protected on all these platforms, as we never know when we're going to go poof like the dollar on many of these alternative platforms. So I appreciate the subscriptions, and make sure to check that link for First National below. Until next time, my friends, this is Josh Sigurdson and Mark Gonzales signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.